Welcome back, everybody. John, I want to start off with DC crime and what is happening to fix it with the federalization, the federal makeover that DC is getting. So we just passed 100 arrests in that city. And, I wonder, John, if this is the type of thing that you just need 100 arrests and then the crime starts to lessen on its own. Much like the border, John, we saw this when President Trump was elected. He didn't even have to get into office, and we already saw those numbers of illegal border crossings going down. You send out the message that you're serious about it, and then the problem seems to fix itself.
Yeah. Listen, I think the bigger impact is just the visible deterrence. You now have people patrolling the streets with guns and uniforms. Some are FBI uniforms, some are National Guard. I think I saw a couple last night as I was going home late at night. There were some ugly protests out there, and there were these pretty buff-looking soldiers that I don't think anyone was wanting to mix with. It's the show of force. It's the idea that there are people there to help and respond in a moment if something turns bad. That's going to have a psychological effect. Listen, every day in this city, there's 100, 150 arrests. That's not an unusual thing with a police department with 200, 300, or 20, 30,000 police officers. But I think it's the visible deterrence, something that you didn't see. Most of the time, the DC cops are so stretched thin that you don't see them on the patrol, right? They're just responding to one crisis to the next. Having people on patrol has created a mental note, and it's probably told some of the hooligans that were creating this horrible violence, just randomly killing, attacking, beating people, stealing their cars. It's going to be a little harder now because we're walking around and we can see you. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing. It's a psychological deterrence. And I suspect in a few months, this city's going to feel and operate a lot differently.
I certainly hope so, because it's our capital city. It should be the crowning jewel of our country. When
We're
people come here, they obviously want to come to the capital.
There was an amazing statistic that Congressman Downing gave us today. If you took the murder rate in D.C. right now, cut it in half, it's still higher than almost all cities.
Yeah, he said it was still almost twice as high as all cities.
And the Democrats are trying to defend that record. I mean, come on. Can we do a little better than that?
It's incredible. So, John, a lot of our conversations over the last half a decade or so with Joe Biden in office has centered around illegal immigration, of course.
Yeah.
And along with that, illegal drug crime that filters into this country from that.
Yeah.
But in an effort to bring that down, we now have an agreement with Mexico. They are going to send over 26 of their high-ranking cartel figures who are on the U.S. most wanted list. So that seems like a good sign of coordination to me. We've seen in the past a little bit of pushback from their president, but it seems like this is progress.
Yeah, no, this is a big deal, and it's one of many concessions that the President Trump has gotten out of the Mexican president. She's a socialist, he's not, but they're able to work together because she knows what she needs from the United States, and this was a big win. It also is a way for her to try to forestall any military actions targeting there, get ahead of it. Hey, we don't want you bombing our land, so here, take these guys, and I think that that's a little bit of the dynamic.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to stay on the cartel crime for a moment, because something that I think we can file under absolutely ridiculous is that an MS13 member has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration and the Bureau of Prisons, saying that he, born a he, wants to be recognized as a female. John, this is, this is residual absurdity from the Biden administration. Unfortunately, it's still hanging around in our prison system from folks like this. What do you anticipate the success rate is going to be suing the Trump administration on this?
Pretty low, pretty low. I mean, listen, just think about what's happened in the last couple of days. I mean, today, the appeals court ruled that President Trump can proceed. It lifted the block on President Trump dismantling USAID. These are major wins. And by the way, these are precedent-setting court rulings that are going to affect future presidents. Donald Trump is not only blazing the way for himself, these are going to be rulings that future presidents are going to rely on, because he's reestablished what a president can and can't do. And he's also taken away the many excuses that presidents before him used on why they couldn't fix D.C., why they couldn't shrink foreign aid, why they couldn't shrink the deficit. He's taken those excuses away because he's reestablished that when people vote for a president, that president is empowered with the people as well. And I think these court records and these court wins those are the historic ones. And then ones like this Yahoo that is trying to get the gender change paid for, I think at the end of the day, they get dismissed quickly.
Yeah, absolutely absurd. All right, I'll wrap up with this. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked about why Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is not going to be at the summit on Friday between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. And John, this is something you and I have talked about in the past. Typically, when it comes to negotiations, you talk to one side and then the other. They're not going to be smashed in there together. But also, it was Putin, as I understand it, that came to the Trump team and said, hey, let's meet.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, at some point, all the parties are going to meet. I'm kind of with the congressman. I think President Trump might have something in his back pocket already with Putin. We'll see. Let's see how it plays out. It's hard to tell. Putin's a wily, cagey guy, so a guy, not a good guy. But I think Donald Trump has a plan, and we're going to be covering that live here on Friday Night Show. I can't wait. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it is going to be a Trump-Putin bonanza on Friday as we discuss what happens. All I know is that President Trump, if he doesn't like what is being said or negotiated, he's just going to walk right out because that's his negotiating style, and it's what has been successful thus far. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.